Hello everybody, welcome back. Like many people in our generation, I am a constant prisoner of nostalgia. So today, I will be drawing something related to Equestria Girls. So I think we all know that My Little Pony has had a lot of generations. I think most people who would be watching this video would grow up on generation 4, but I think are they on 5 or 6 now? I don't really keep up with it. But out of all of those, generations of it, there's only been one Equestria Girls kind of thing, I believe, which was from G4. So I was thinking, what if Equestria Girls got rebooted like how My Little Pony's constantly getting rebooted? When I was thinking about a concept for a reboot of Equestria Girls, there was, one group of characters that I couldn't get out of my mind, and it's these guys. I don't really know much about them because they were introduced in My Little Pony far beyond the point where I stopped watching. Because of, how far into the show they are, I suspect a lot of people probably don't know about these guys the same way I didn't really know about these guys, but they are the Student 6, and they go to Twilight's Friendship School. I'm gonna just list off, the members, and then I'm going to get into them more later. There's Gallas, who's a griffin, Smolder, who's a dragon, Oelis, who's a changeling, Yona, who's a yak, Silverstream, who's a hippogriff, and Sandbar, who's your run-of-the-mill earth pony. I have talked too much. Design time, now! So, with the order of drawing the characters, I didn't go in much particular order, but I'm starting off with Sandbar first. For the actual art style of the characters, I went for more of the actual show style than my own, because I was really inspired by Emma Artley, who made human designs of the main 6, and she used this kind of style. So credits to that to her. Thank you, Emma. I love your videos. Okay, so now I'm gonna actually explain my idea for the G2 of Equestria Girls. So it would take place in maybe a boarding school where there are lots of different people coming in, which kind of explains how everyone's a different species in the show, but everyone would be a different culture here. And I think that would be a good concept, just because it's a good message for kids, which I think My Little Pony has always kind of been about, teaching messages. In Friendship is Magic, there was a lot of talking about resolving issues and getting to know different people and all those sorts of things. But this would teach little kids to appreciate other cultures and learn about that. Another reason that I think this would be interesting is it does have these new characters, or the newer characters, the Student 6, Young 6, whatever you want to call them, but it would also still have the main 6 because they are teachers there. So they get to step up a little and be mentors to these new characters instead of the people actually learning it. So it would also kind of cash on that nostalgia that I'm so desperately clinging to, So I watched some clips to kind of understand each of the characters because I hadn't really seen much of them before. And Sandbar is kind of the chill, laid-back guy. So he's just really easygoing, and he cares about his friends, and he kind of fills the trope of the mentor to the fish out of water characters. He will explain pony things to them because they're not ponies. As you can see, I gave him sort of a beachy surfer vibe because of his cutie mark in his name. I stuck mostly to the color palette. I did add khaki for his pants. I included his cutie mark both as a keychain on his bag and just the design on his t-shirt. The next of the group that I drew was Yona. She's a yak from Yakistan. Her character really does kind of push the foreign aspect more than the others I've noticed. She comments more about Yakistan than any of the other characters really talk about where they're from. She seems to be a little bit more out of place with the things she does. Personality-wise, she's very loud, and she's also, very clumsy. She's always, running into things. As far as outfit design goes, I already had more to work with than I did any of the other characters because she is clothed. She has bows. She has her, shawl thing over her back. So that gave me something to work off more, so I just gave her, a green oversized sweater. And to kind of emanate, the fur of a yak layering up, I gave her a tiered maxi skirt. I also kind of took the horn design and made that into a bandana so it kind of mimics the shape. As far as shoes go, I went really simple because I thought that I needed more of the accent pink color in the design along with the greenish gray of the horns. So I just put those two on the shoes, very simple. Another design choice that I made was to give her vitiligo because the original character on her yak muzzle does have lighter coloration, so I gave her a vitiligo patch on her chin and her nose. Now that I've gone over personality and design choices, I'm kind of going everywhere, but I'm gonna go back to what I think the plot would be about of this theoretical show. If I were to choose a main character for this, I'm gonna say that it would be Sandbar, simply because he's almost the straight man of the group, and if it is somewhere like a boarding school where many people are coming together, then he can seem most surprised meeting all of these new people with different cultures and whatnot. On to the next of the group. Okay, on to the next character of the group, which was Smolder. She's a dragon. She's kind of rough around the edges. She's the bad girl of the group. A lot of the conflict, at least in the episode I saw of her, which was not a lot, she kind of was an instigator of conflict. She'd make the kids do convince them to do something bad, ooh, let's go do it, let's go be cool, you're so lame if you don't. I don't like her. Being mean to your friends is not okay, guys. Why don't we all just be happy and hold hands and dance? I do think throughout the show she has character progression, that she's nice. For designing her, I had no idea what to do. I made her kind of have a punk style, but then with her color palette being very light, I wanted to keep it pretty close to the original. So it did have a lot more bright colors than I would have probably liked if I were to do this again. I also don't understand how the headband worked. I tried to make it look like it was just, I don't even know how that works. How would one wear that? I don't understand. You don't need to understand it, just accept it. I also think maybe the blue chains are weird, but I don't know. I think it kind of works. On to the next one. So we're doing Oelis, who is a changeling. I think she would be a very fun character to mess around with in this. I don't know how exactly magic would be implemented into Equestria Girls, because in the actual Equestria Girls movies, there's definitely magic. In every single movie, there's at least some present, and it usually plays a major role. So how exactly it would be put into it, I'd imagine, the Everfree movie, where they kind of have powers, and it's oh wow, almost a superhero-esque thing, but still bordering more on just the magic is just in the world everywhere, rather than they're actually superheroes with identities and stuff. I really like Oelis. She's very shy. Of course she's a changeling, so she can change. I think she'd be a fun character to mess with because of her background in the changelings being evil. Could maybe be she comes from a rough family, but she still tries to be really nice to people. I kept her outfit pretty plain without a lot of patterns or accessories, because in her character she tries to blend in because she's very shy, so I thought something modest and not over the top would fit her well. I also really love her color palette, the soft pinks with that mint blue. It's so cute. Okay, so the next one that I designed is Silverstream. You may have seen me using this drawing as references for the other ones, because these are so out of order, and this was my first drawing. It's also probably my favorite drawing I cooked here. So Silverstream is a hippogriff, and in the My Little Pony world, hippogriffs are sometimes like those bird ponies, but they're also sometimes mermaids. And to incorporate that kind of beachy feel, I decided to give her some Gyaru inspiration with the fun like beachy patterns and like the cute accessories in the fur jacket. I hope that I did it okay. I did definitely tone it down from what you usually see for it. Personality-wise, Silverstream is very, like, hyperactive. She's just really happy to be there. She's a lot of fun. I think the closest, like, everyone kind of has their main 6 counterpart. But that's especially obvious for Oelis being, like, Fluttershy and Silverstream definitely being Pinkie Pie. A lot like Oelis, I don't know how exactly I would incorporate, like, her switch between, like, land and sea. Maybe it's just in her background that she moves a lot or something similar. If you have any ideas, please leave them in the comments. This is not that fleshed out, but I think other people's recommendations are way more creative than mine a lot of the time. We did it. We are at the final one of the video, which is Gallas, and he's a griffin. So, personality-wise, he's kind of the wise guy and a little bit snarky, but still has a nice side. So I decided he would kind of be a jock, but I still added like a beanie and like the knee pad things to make him look a little bit softer, more chilled than like just the jacket and just jeans. The little emblem on his jacket is the school emblem, which I thought was a nice touch. I also really think that the color palette he had worked pretty well. Like with Smolder and maybe some of the others, I think the way it translated wasn't great, but I think I did all right with him, especially with like a male design, which I kind of struggle with. To be honest, I don't really have a whole lot to say about this final one, so I guess that's it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for getting this far. Tell me what you think I should flesh out more. Have a nice day.